What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Now today is going to be an exposure video, which I didn't expect myself to make again, but this actually has been going on for a while. I thought I'd just say something about it. This actually all started in 9th grade at a junior high. I have started my first year because I accidentally failed my last year because I was having mental health issues. I was going through depression and all that. I really didn't think I would meet like a bunch of nice people, but like at my first time when I went to the cafeteria, there was this one girl, she waved to me, day by day she would wave to me. And then eventually into one of my gym classes, I met this one guy named Arkish. Turns out he had a friend group and they eventually got to know me. I became really good friends with them and we got along very well. We eventually turned into a big friend group. The chillest one of them all was my friend Gio. He's doing great today. But, recently I found out that one of them, we're going to call him Jay because I don't want, there's both of them. I'm going to call him Jay and L, whatever. Anyways, first, Jay was a, normal person at first. I thought, I would be okay with him. Then later on, found out that L was not a good guy. L here would always insult everybody and act all tough. He was basically this rude kid at school, saying all these horrible things, saying these disgusting things that could get him arrested, all that. And then, he was happy he was with a girl. Eventually, we found out he had a girlfriend. But the main problem is that this girl was not in a good age gap with him. He was, in the 9th grade, and he was with a younger girl, which I don't have any screenshots, but, they are not together anymore. But then, here we are, we're going to move to the main guy right now. Because the thing is, L... The more about him I would want to say about this real quick is that he fell in love with this one girl that came into my school. I dated her for a few days, but then I realized she was not loyal. She was doing all these things behind my back, inappropriate things with other dudes. I'm like, okay, yeah, I don't want to do this. So, I stopped talking to her, but then my own best friend, which was Jay, which is no longer my friend, eventually betrayed me and went for her. And they did some, not so holy things. He was, I can't really say the age gap because I don't want to get in trouble with YouTube. But he was still a minor and the other girl was, already, you should know by now. But now, that's not the main point we have right now. I actually have found out there was a new situation with this kid. Jay was dating a year-old while he was 16. Now, you may be asking, what did I do? I wanted to convince him to his mom, but, his mom was defending him on it, and I'm like, okay, this is not right. So, the reason why, that's also the main reason I'm censoring their names, is because if I say his real name and his mom sees this video, she's likely going to text my mom, it's going to start drama. So I have to get the name censored out, but I'm going to show some screenshots of evidence I have gathered up. So now, as you can see right here, this is Jay. I have to censor everything because I don't want to get, in trouble and leak all that stuff. But the other point is, this is his girlfriend. Now you can see here as his girlfriend's leaking her age. And basically when I gathered up their ages together, it's basically a 3 age gap. And another thing is, when I was at his house, there was this one thing I heard that exactly came out of his mouth. He was basically saying from another girl from another state who was likely younger than him, forcing her or saying to do these things for him, send pictures of explicit images of her. And would I say anything? No. I was completely quiet because I knew I had to be. And if I were to say something, it would be an issue. Now let's move on to L, because he has his nickname with L in it, but I don't want to, like I said, I don't want to leak his full name or both their names because I don't want to get into any issues. But Now, the other main problem with L is that he wasn't just like, he wasn't a bully, he wasn't a punk, but, he would also be a liar saying, oh, he had like these expensive cars, he lived in a mansion, he lived in this, he had all that. But in reality, he really did not have much of really anything. He was just saying this to look cool in front of everybody. He was friends with tall kids and all that. But eventually, it was actually all a lie. Because when I got stories from those kids, and, especially his crush was like, older than him and same age as me. She told me her side of the story with him and everything he would say to her. How he would basically stalk her and call her these rude names in Spanish. Now, when I had this dude's Snapchat, turns out he wanted to put me in a group chat with a literal older woman that was really older than him because, he doesn't really care what age it is. But the thing is, she was like this kind of weird person from the United Kingdom, and she gave me and my friend her side of the story of how their relationship was, of how he would basically beg her for explicit pics and then just randomly send his own to her, which I really wish I didn't have to see, but she showed me that, and I was very disgusted, and I didn't like what that was, I didn't like her sending that in general. All I asked was for the DMs, He would basically manipulate her, saying that he was gonna do some self-harm to himself if he didn't get the explicit pictures from her. Now, another thing about, L here is that every day, if he saw me like have something better than him or talking to someone he likes, he would literally just crack his ankles and get so sensitive. He would crack his ankles and say he could knock anyone out, saying he could fight anyone, and he really would not lose all this, But we really did not like him for who he was. He was really rude. He was just this person, he would threaten us, but really never do anything in general, look all scary, saying he could do all this. But this might be the end of the video, as I have no more details, but, please do not send any harassment anyone mentioned this video, because like I said, I don't want his mom seeing this video and then me eventually getting attacked for it. But I do not support any of this behavior. Please do not be anyone like that. Please don't do that type of behavior. Just be a kind person in general. Don't manipulate. Don't ask for explicit pictures. Just be yourself, be happy, play games, go out in the world and do things. Anyways, I will see you guys in the next video. I love you all. Have a great day.